Willing to accept any checks across the North Sea, even if they are of a regulatory nature, not customs checks?
No, and it's been very clear all along. That has been our one red line, that we cannot have either a customs border down the Irish Sea or a regulatory border, because that would make us separate from the rest of the United Kingdom. And that doesn't work from a constitutional perspective, and it doesn't work from an economic perspective either.
What if there was some political declaration that, OK, we have to agree to the possibility of checks, but they'll never be used? There's no way that they can add some language that would make you happy with any kind of the extra checks?
No, because, of course, that would impede the constitutional integrity of the United Kingdom.
And we will be damaging the fabric of the Union with regulatory checks and even customs controls between Great Britain and Northern Ireland, on top of those extra regulatory checks down the Irish Sea that are already envisaged in the withdrawal agreement. Now, I have to tell you, no British Conservative government could or should sign up to any such arrangement. And so,
look, if we have passport controls in Liverpool, does that matter to me? Absolutely not. The things that matter to me are so much more important than this silly debate about whether we'll have the odd border post or passport checks.
And when it comes to peace building, sometimes leaders have to push the boundaries.
Look, if we have passport controls in Liverpool, does that matter to me? Absolutely not.
And when it comes to peace building, sometimes leaders have to push the boundaries.
Well, hello and welcome to this short stream at Restore UK, going out live to the YouTube channel, also to Twitter. And really what you would have seen if you watch this, or if you go back to watch it at some point, you will have seen that Arlene Foster, the leader of the DUP, when she was the leader of the DUP, she talked about regulatory and customs checks, and she said that wouldn't be acceptable because, if there were regulatory and customs checks between England, Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland, Arlene Foster's own words suggested that would impede the constitutional integrity of the United Kingdom. And then we went on and we listened to Boris Johnson at the DUP party conference, in where that he said that no British Prime Minister could accept regulatory or customs checks. And then we have the current leader of the DUP, namely Sir Geoffrey Donaldson. And Geoffrey seems to be taking a different stand whenever that, say, for example, that Boris Johnson would have admitted that customs and regulatory checks were wrong. However, someone got his brain and he changed his mind. And Arlene Foster would have admitted that customs and regulatory checks between England, Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland were absolutely 200 million% wrong, because it would impede the constitutional integrity of the United Kingdom. But Geoffrey, he seems to be thinking differently. He seems to be thinking, and we're going to play again. Listen to Geoffrey.
Look, if we have passport controls in Liverpool, does that matter to me? Absolutely not. The things that matter to me are so much more important than this silly debate about whether we'll have the odd border post or passport checks.
So Geoffrey thinks it's a silly debate that we're having with reference regulatory and customs checks, separating Northern Ireland from the rest of the United Kingdom. And then we ask one question, and one very, very serious question. Is Geoffrey Donaldson fit? Is he fit to be the leader of Northern Ireland unionism when he takes such a stand, when his assessment, his analysis of a border in the North Channel separating Northern Ireland from England, Scotland and Wales, when his analysis is that it's a silly debate? Is Geoffrey Donaldson fit to be the leader of Northern Ireland unionism? That's a real question. And that's a question from Restore UK to the leaders of the DUP and under the leadership of one Geoffrey Donaldson. So we've got to look at the circumstances in which we find ourselves in, and we've got to really try to scratch the surface and understand who is it that has placed us in these unpalatable circumstances. So let's outline the circumstances, and this is going to be a short video, but the circumstances are that under the Liz Truss protocol bill, well, there is the permanent lifting of the border between Northern Ireland and the Irish Republic, and there is the transplanting of that border permanently at Larne, at Belfast, and at Warren Point, in where that posts would remain, in where there's going to be a red channel for EU goods, and there's going to be a green channel for goods destined to Northern Ireland, in where that Liz Truss had said that the British government would carry out checks on the green channel, that there would be a trusted trader scheme which would be afforded to hauliers from within the United Kingdom to deliver to Northern Ireland, which is part of the United Kingdom. Now, that is an unpalatable situation for any British Unionist leader to be espousing. And yet Jeffrey Donaldson, well, he promotes such a system, and he says that if this protocol bill, if it sees the light of day, well, he will be supporting it, and he will enter into the criminal gang headquarters located off the Upper Newtownards Road in Belfast, which is Stormont. One wonders who has occupied Jeffrey Donaldson's brain. Is Jeffrey Donaldson speaking for himself, or is Jeffrey Donaldson promoting the so-called national interest in order that his career advancements, well, they would be many? So there's a few questions for British Unionists to ponder, to get their heads around. Just a few weeks ago there, whilst on holiday, we were banned from the Facebook channel. We were banned from the Facebook channel because that we said, myself and Ben Habib, we were promoting the fact that the protocol bill, well, it really is meaningless to and worthless to British Unionists here in Northern Ireland, yet our leaders, the so-called leaders of unionism, they seem to be welcoming that very protocol bill and embracing it with open arms. People, make no mistake, either the protocol goes in its fullness, or Northern Ireland and their place in the United Kingdom, well, it's over. And in fact, by extension, the entire United Kingdom is on the trajectory of dismantling. And that's something very, very serious that all British Unionists should actually contemplate. And all British Unionists in Northern Ireland specifically, well, we are the front line against this protocol bill, against the constitutional changing protocol, which Liz Truss said would remain in place. We are the front line. And are we going to be the generation to give up the United Kingdom in such an easy way? Our enemies must be laughing at who it is that are our leadership. So it's onwards and upwards. This is a Saturday afternoon. You'll find us on the YouTube channel at Restore UK. You will also find us on Twitter, again, Restore UK. And we'll be doing many, many short videos just like this in the very, very near future. So enjoy your weekend, what's left of it, because after this weekend, it's time. It's time to claim back and to fight for, in a meaningful, proactive way, in a way that would defend, protect, and enhance Northern Ireland's place within the United Kingdom. It's time to fight for our birthright and what's rightfully ours. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you all again real soon.